Hi, Andrew here, and let's continue with exploring this peculiarity that half of the population thinks in language sentences and half thinks in images and emotions, because that's a fascinating topic for me, that learning this late in life, that 50% plus or minus a bit of the population does not have a monologue running through their head as they speak their thoughts, or at least they think their thoughts in words. And I got to thinking, I mean, is this where the jokes about the political non-player characters are? I support the thing, or I oppose the thing. And two comments or two things have occurred that I've seen expressed that really leave me wondering. One, and this is one of those things that I pay attention to it because it really amuses the shit out of me to read the comment streams on a particular hockey blog I read. And almost invariably, people will reveal something about themselves without really meaning to. And this could literally be, say you're a Liberal NPC without saying you're a Liberal NPC. The guy says, it was a discussion of good looks. I think Paul Bissonette said something to the effect that half of the women who watch the NHL do so because they think the guys are cute. And this is, of course, something that it's go get him, boo this man, because in today's day and age, you're not supposed to say that physical attractiveness is actually something that has a profound effect on people. Well, have you ever eaten at Hooters? The food sucks, and the service generally sucks. But they have pretty girls with large boobs wearing Daisy Dukes and tight T-shirts. You think that physical attractiveness doesn't have an effect? In the history of, I read a couple of election cycles ago, in the history of the American presidency, almost every single time, the winner was the taller man. Taller is perceived, in men, taller is perceived as more attractive. And there was a crap ton of ink spilt about Dumb and Dumber Blackface Hitler and how good looking he was back in the day. Well, one of the Liberal NPCs said, you know, I think it's fair to say that Justin Trudeau probably earned a lot of his votes, but there would have been some that were just because he's an attractive guy, he's a handsome man. This isn't about good looks, although good looks get you better jobs, better deals, get you elected to Prime Minister of Canada 3 times. I mean, it's a combination of being a handsome man and having the last name Trudeau, and an enormous chunk of the population being Liberal NPCs who are going to put the X beside the Liberal's name because their daddy did it and his daddy did it, all the way back to, Yves Saint Laurent or earlier. Do you genuinely think, especially in the most recent election, that Trudeau earned those votes? Really? What policies has he pursued that have been to the betterment of this formerly not too bad nation? What has he done to make things better? Rampant inflation tearing the fabric of the country apart, setting aside 20% of the population to be the dirty, filthy other who weren't going to be allowed to participate in civil society. While we're at it, let's just abrogate their human rights. Was that good? Squashing the oil and gas industry, refusing to sell gas to our ally in Germany who desperately needs it, and who, by the way, right now is screaming about about American producers taking advantage because the costs are too high. but there's no business case, right, trust fund boy? Shit. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out how the stupid son of a bitch earned a vote. But in this man's head, this voter's head, good looks and stage presence and all of that might have got him a few votes, might have had a little bit to do with it, but it was all earned. He earned all those votes. Right. What was it that Andre Agassi said 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 30 years ago? Image is everything. Let's be honest. Imagery has a profound effect. And there is no way. Trudeau, what was the joke about President Cheeto? He could shoot a man on 6th Avenue and his supporters would not abandon him. Dumb and Dumber, blackface Hitler could tear the social fabric of the country apart, plunge us into a hyperinflation and recession, make us freeze in the dark, play dress up at our trade allies' conferences, making an utter fool of himself. Nothing will convince this bonehead that Trudeau hasn't been a good prime minister. Nothing will. He can't be reasoned out of it because he wasn't reasoned into it. Is it because he's all about the images that he claims might have a small effect? Turning to a completely different topic, there is a commenter on a blog I read who is absolutely 100% convinced that the Russians sabotaged their own pipelines. Or no, pardon me. He's not convinced that they sabotaged their own pipelines. He thinks there was no sabotage at all. That it was just crappy maintenance on the part of the Russians. And Swedish seismographers recorded explosions. They have the seismographic data. Those fucking pipes were blown up. It was sabotage. But this guy, who seems to be a generally fairly bright guy, reasonable guy, he has an opinion. He was not reasoned into it. And he's not going to be... People have responded to him saying, we have the data. We have the seismographic data. They know there were explosions at the sites of the leaks. They know there were, or maybe not directly at the sites, but they know there were explosions that coincided with the leaks. Not pipe ruptures, explosions. These goddamn pipelines were sabotaged. They were blown up. But this guy knows in his head it was faulty maintenance and a failure. Just simply a pipeline failure. 4 of them simultaneously in the exact same spot while something blew up nearby, but it was bad maintenance. Is he a word thinker or is he an images thinker? I don't know. I mean, this isn't something we've discussed, but it is very, very interesting to me to try to apply that thought, that notion to these particular comments, to the passing scene, to the way people think. Neither one of these men is going to be reasoned out of their position that Trudeau is just a really good, hardworking, excellent prime minister who's earned all those votes. And that Putin didn't get the workers out there to do proper maintenance and those pipelines just failed. In spite of all evidence to the contrary. Food for thought. Thanks for watching. That was my time. That was your time. And in the meantime, take care, and you'll see me soon.